This show is so disturbing that the network destroyed all the tapes. It's one of the creepiest cases in lost media history, and you don't want to miss it, so keep watching. Late Night Horror was an anthology series that premiered in 1968. Shortly after it aired, thousands of people wrote to the BBC claiming the show was too dark, too deeply disturbing for television. There were even rumors that people on the production team fainted during the filming because the content was so grotesque. The BBC eventually pulled the show and wiped the tapes, but a few clips still remain, including the disturbing intro sequence. Check it out. Cursed as fuck, right? So, after the tapes were wiped, Late Night Horror became a legend, a ghost story among horror fans. For decades, archivists and enthusiasts searched in vain for any remaining copies. Finally, in 1985, a vintage TV collector named Chris Perry got a lead. Someone published a classified ad claiming they had the last known copy of episode 3, The Corpse Can't Play. Chris jumped at the chance, but the tape had already sold to a mysterious anonymous bidder just 10 minutes before he called. But decades later, in 2016, the strange tape somehow popped up on eBay. This time, Chris won the bid, and he finally had the piece of lost media that he'd been searching for decades. But when he played it, the reason for Late Night Horror's terrifying reputation became instantly clear. The Corpse Can't Play isn't streaming anywhere and can only be bought on DVD, but I've read the synopsis and boy is it disturbing. Basically, a creepy kid shows up uninvited to a birthday party. The other kids start making fun of the boy because his dad is dead because, well, kids are cruel. So in revenge, this little sociopath kills the birthday boy's dad, chops him up, and turns his body parts into party favors. Here's a small clip I found on YouTube.
Well, it's only fair, Mrs. Jarman. I mean, now I'm not the only boy who hasn't got a father.
So yeah, pretty dark, especially for 1960s TV. And what made it even more disturbing for audiences back then was that it was the first ever UK horror series to be broadcast in color. So the blood and gore didn't look as abstract as it does in black and white. It looked real and visceral. But still, does all this justify wiping the tapes? And why did the BBC do something so seemingly extreme? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like weird history or whatever the hell this was, be sure to give me a follow. Thanks for watching and happy Halloween!